is I'm the Speaker of Nkangala District Municipality. On my immediate right is the Executive Mayor of Nkangala District Municipality, Mama Mabuza. I want to believe that we know her. Without any waste of time, we will give the Executive Mayor the opportunity as the political head of the institution to address you about the work that we've been doing from yesterday until today. Honorable Executive Mayor, over to you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and thank you for this opportunity. Let me greet your good selves, gentlemen, as they've indicated my name. I've been given an opportunity to lead the district as the Executive Mayor. Indeed, you are invited to this session on the basis that the district had undertaken the 2 days Lekgotla. Safe to indicate that we are consciously wanting to support our district local economy. Would have taken our Lekgotla elsewhere where it's conducive, where it's nice, where it's private, but we said it should be within the district so that we must be seen as the district enhancing our local economies. Hence, we have chosen this area. And as much as also want to support SMMEs, there has been challenges of finding a venue of a capacity that they can accommodate a full complement of the district Lekgotla. The district Lekgotla is composed of various stakeholders as well as the 6 municipalities that are surrounding the district to deliberate on the issues of the district in particular and what needs to happen come the next 12 months. You must be reminded that we had the Lekgotla in the 2022 to develop a 5-year program of action. And this Lekgotla was assessing a 12-month program of action informed by that 5-year strategic plan. And we have assessed ourselves, and out of the last year's plan, we realized that we're at 72% in terms of implementation of our Lekgotla plans for the last 12 months as it has ended. It's going to end now in June 2023. And that gives us an opportunity as we are planning for the next coming financial year to look as to what could be the reason of us failing to reach the 100% and also embark on the new strategies. I could indicate to you that the issue mostly is the issue of planning. Planning in ensuring that we implement our project on time, and the 72% is emanating from the implementation of project that is being delayed on the basis that we had issues in planning. And this Lekgotla has acknowledged that indeed we must be able to plan forward for us to be able to implement within the budget time. And the Lekgotla has taken such a decision that within the 3 months of this financial year, we must be starting to plan for the next financial year. So that come 1st July, as we start with the new local government financial year, we then roll out the implementation so that we do not delay service delivery for our people. The fundamental matters that we've also discussed in this Lekgotla was the issue of the energy transition, where we've been privileged to have a member from the Presidential Climate Change Commission who had gave us a presentation and the situation of the jet energy transition. And of course, in our district, we've been arguing that indeed, in as much as we want to implement the renewable energy, we must not be naive and forget where we come from, which we are a district that is revived around the economy of coal and the mining. And hence, we've been lobbying right from the national Lekgotla, which we've been afforded the opportunity to be there, and also the provincial Lekgotla, to say, even if this program of renewable energy is now in the motion, is moving, we must be devising some opportunities of continuing to mine. And one of those device strategies is that of finding a technology that deals with air pollution. and we call it a carbon capture emission technology, which we are told that in the province there is such an industry that deals with air pollution that is sited at Leandra. And the district needs to explore on that so that when we continue with the project of the renewable energy, we also assist one another in how then to make sure that there is this emission of air pollution. What we've discovered in the Lekgotla is that even though there is a view that we're rushing with the renewable energy, the situation is that the demographics of the globe affect us more than any other countries that are more in terms of the percentage of emissions. So whatever is happening in the number one countries and the emission that they contribute, at the end of the day, because we are at a demographic which is lower, all that pollution affects Africa and affects in particular South Africa. And we have looked at that and to say indeed, in as much as we are not the much contributors of air pollution in South Africa in particular, but we are affected by the surrounding of the globe. And hence, there is this vast and a hype of interest of investment for air pollution in South Africa in particular. And when you look in South Africa, the highest area that is highly affected is in Mpumalanga and Nkangala in particular. You must recall that when Eskom announces the decommissions of the mine, it has spoken about 7 power stations that were going to be decommissioned in terms of the schedule, but 5 of those power stations are in Ghana. And therefore we become highly affected in terms of the job that will be lost. We've been looking at the Komati decommissions, and in our engagement, we've been arguing on how do you then retain people that are working in Komati. And the challenge was that they could not assess, because currently it is now that they are doing a research on the impact of Komati decommissions. And we requested that let them hold these things of commissioning, rather focus on Eskom maintaining these power stations while we are looking at this alternative energy. And therefore, we are of the view at the district that indeed we should have parallel of this program running, while continuing with our origin of economy in mining and also explore on the issues of renewable energy. The Lekgotla decided or took a resolution that indeed we must explore, we must be part of the Presidential Climate Change Commission, we must be part of the Provincial Green Cluster Agency, those units that are dealing with commissions. We must be able to be part of the COP28, because we want to believe that anything that is discussed there, it is about us. And it is about us that have the power stations in Nkangala. And further safe to indicate that on service delivery, we have looked into the performance of our municipalities in terms of their KPIs. We must indicate that there is improvement, but there is a need for push up for them to be sitting at 100%, because where we are, the improvement of performance in terms of service delivery, it's visible, but it has not given hope to our people. And therefore, this Lekgotla, looking at the budget of the district, which is, I must upfrontly indicate, it's diminishing. Whatever we are getting from National Treasury as the district, it has not increased in terms of inflation. It has depleted on a yearly basis. And that gives a strain on the district, because our role is to implement infrastructure bulk projects. And for us to have low scope project currently, it's a sort of a relief, because our intention is that we must focus on Dr. Jess Moroka and Tembisile in bulk water supply, and therefore the low scope project is in motion. We had informed you about the packages of low scope projects, which were 5 at the cost of 1.5 billion, and where we are now implementing the 3, which is the biggest of the 5 projects, 5 work packages. The first work package is that one of the construction of a specialized project where there should be a construction that must abstract the water from a low scope, so that it is then channeled to Verina, which is then Tembisile. The second work package is having about 36-kilometer pipe that must be installed so that it is linked with the third work package, where we will have a plant of raw water, a plant of cleaning water, and a plant of purification water, so that that water can then get into the reticulation of Tembisile. Where we are, Tembisile is ready in terms of reticulation, besides on the areas where there was now an illegal invasion of land. And that has to be discussed with the chiefs, those that have put people in that land, so that later we then budget for them to also have the reticulation. But where we have planned in terms of reticulation, immediately as we are done with that project of low scope for the transportation of water, they will be immediately getting water, the people of Tembisile. We must indicate that the low scope project gives us a relief, because our intention is to solve the issue of water permanently in Tembisile and Dr. J.S. Moroka. And we are pleased that DWS has also come in our favor for the extra project of Dr. J.S. Moroka, which we call it the Dirastifenter water project. That project is going to commence in the next financial year as we are done with the design. We're just waiting for the WULA, which is the water license services, to be approved, so that we start with that project. So we're giving it a period of 12 months to engage with those authorities, your environmental impact and all those, that we start with Dr. J.S. Moroka, the Dirastifenter project. I have seen the question, maybe the question will answer it as we engage further, but safe to indicate that the Lekgotla went very well. We are certain of what we want to do, and we've been guided by the Lekgotla that our plans must be practical, must be within the budget. We must be able to implement them on record time, so that we don't delay any services delivery. And taking note that as our district budget is diminishing, we are also offering support to local municipalities within our equitable shares for us to be able to assist them to implement our budget and their project in terms of their needs. We have discussed that if there is a project that is in motion and that project, its budgets come into an end within a financial year and we are unable to proceed it, we are not going to continue as a district to put projects, and when they don't have budget, then leave this project to another financial year or for another 5 years, for another 10 years. We want to do the project to the start and to the end. And that is an evidence that we've made in Steve 20, Ward 28, where we're putting a paved road. That whole area, we had to source other funds in making sure that we deal with that project, we don't leave Bermuda roads, and finalize it to the end. And we're proud, Masek, to say we can even go and observe that project. We have started it, we've finished it, so that when we focus on another project in the district, we also make sure that we take it to the first and we put it to the last without leaving any project that are not finalized. And on our audit, we must indicate that the district continue to have a clean audit. We are disappointed that Steve Tshwete has regressed, and all of us, you are aware that the issue of the Steve Tshwete was that of the riots that had emerged there, and at the end of the day, their performance had to go down on some few issues, and we're hoping that this financial year, Steve Tshwete will go back to a clean audit. We're focusing in supporting Tembisile extensively, because Tembisile has received unqualified with matters, and these matters that are resolvable, for them to be able to go to unqualified. But our commitment that we've made with the AG, because the AG has also came to do the presentation to this Lekgotla, is that we have made a written commitment with the AG to say how are we going to support local municipalities for them to improve their audit outcome, which our focus is that of Makazene, which has continuously receiving disclaimer. And we are pleased to inform you that at least the CFO has now been appointed who will be assisting us in making sure that Makazeni gets out of the disclaimer. And the district had continued to support Makazeni in terms of putting our accountant there to assist them with their books. Malahleni is performing well, but we need to deal with their matters of the AG that are not being implemented and they are not being put in action plan. And the district is there to assist them in making sure that all these matters that the AG is raising for Malahleni are put in action, are implemented so that they can improve their audit outcome. So Malahleni and Victor Kanye has been comfortable with their audit status, and we need to make sure that they move out of their qualification so that they go to the another level of our audit. We must indicate that the support of the district in terms of share audit, it is what has assisted local municipalities to be in a better position in terms of dealing with issues and matters that the AG is raising, that of good governance, that of delays of service delivery implementation, that of MIC funds, the MIC funds that are being rolled over on the basis that there is a slow appointment of service providers on making sure that these deliveries are then actioned. So far we can indicate that we didn't want to focus on many plans that will not be implementable. We're focused on what the President has said on the 5 issues, which is that of infrastructure development, that of making sure that we deal with corruption, that of making sure that we create a safety and healthy environment, and that of making sure that local municipalities become viable, professionalizing, ensuring that their finances are stable, and therefore for them to be able to attract investment. So the district has been moving with the same view of what the President has indicated. We must, in conclusion, our Speaker, to indicate that in that Lekgotla we had Amakos, and the provincial Lekgotla has indicated that we've got an opportunity of a vast agricultural economy in the district. And in the district we've got Izingwenyama, we've got Amakosi, those that mostly possess the land. We need to take an engagement with them on how then we embark on the issue of agricultural activities in the district to allow people to get into farming and create job opportunities. Not just job opportunities, but create an opportunity of export in the district so that we can have a beneficiation of what Mpumalanga is giving us as a vast commodity that we must embark on as a district. And of course, increase our tourism routes, which province is going to assist us. And we are also embarking to say, Goko Nostokane, Dr. Mahlangu, in Dr. J.S. Moroka, we must, in as much as that area, it has been declared as a national key point, we must be able to provide a paved tourism route that goes, start from Dr. Stokana Mahlangu to Engwenyameni, so that that area, all of it, as it is a national key point, is also attracts tourism. I thought, Honourable Speaker, I've embarked on the issues that maybe the media would be vastly interested on, and we're pleased that we are invited into this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I want to believe there shall be no questions because we've already answered questions. Well, without any waste of time, because we were very few, it's an intimate discussions. You will raise your hand, you say your name and the institution you come from, then you should. You will put the first, the second.
No, I go first then. Okay. My name is Bongalim Timonye from Daily Sun. The mayor has answered most of the questions I had here, but I think I still have some to ask.
You still want to be controversial?
Yes. Mayor, here in NDM, NDM is full of mines, but there's still this challenge of I mean, these triple challenges, we still have them here. So I want to know, how do you engage the mayors to help or assist in the communities to fight the triple challenges? That's my first question. In our communities, these business people who they sell sand, they dig the land and they share umgodi. And recently we are experiencing a lot of rain, heavy rains. And so those holes are being filled with water. So I think it is a problem to young kids who go there to swim and then they drown. We have bylaws as a municipality that controls these business people. If they dig the land, then they must close it once they are done. Are there any bylaws? My third question, that was my second question. My third question is, since we are experiencing a lot of rain, heavy rains, there are projects that are in progress, but still they are being damaged by this rain. What is going to happen? Are they going to continue, or they wait for the next budget? Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, we think we can take it.
Afternoon, ma'am. I'm Jan Louis from the Witbank News. Our question, we only have one, is Emalacheni is in a dire financial state with its Eskom account. How can Nkangala assist the city of Paul in this regard?
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Maybe to start with Emalacheni, the 7 billion owed by Emalacheni to Eskom, it's a serious challenge. On the basis that Malacheni on its own tried to enter into a payment arrangement with Eskom. But you can imagine if you are owing 7 billion and your budget for the year it's less than 1 billion. They've passed a budget of more than 1 billion last year, which that budget was unfunded. And compare it with the 7 billion that is owed. It tells you that it is impractical. We have taken this engagement with the Honourable President on our Lekgotla to say we had an expectation that when government and treasury was bailing out Eskom, Eskom would have eventually bailed local municipalities. And that did not happen. They continue to bail municipalities while they have received bailout from national treasury. And we've requested the president that they must look into this, because if you want to continue with the 7 billion debt to Eskom, that municipality tells you that it is insolvent. Literally, it is nothing. And the response from the president was that they will look into the bailing out of local municipalities, so that these municipalities are then given an opportunity to start afresh. But one of the fundamental matters that we must raise is that our people must pay services. Those that afford to pay services, they must pay. Those that are unemployed, they must come to the municipality to register for indigent register, for them to be categorized correctly, and for the municipalities to be able to get that fund that comes from the indigents. And majority of our people are residing in Emalacheni. When they lose job, they don't even approach the municipality and declare their status that I'm no longer employed. And we continue to bill them. Others, they steal electricity. Others, they electrify themselves illegally. And that increase the debt of the municipality to ESCOM. So we must appeal that in as much as President is intending to intervene on this one, but our people must pay. Those that are not employed, they must declare so that the municipality register them on an indigent register. Then Treasury will be able to reimburse the municipalities on the basis of those that are not employed. We know that our employment rate is high lately, and we are expecting that that percentage must reach to local municipalities, for local municipalities to be able to be granted that grant of indigent, for us to be able to service them at the same time, be able to look into the debt that the municipalities have. You are talking of only the 7 billion of ESCOM. This municipality does not owe ESCOM only. There's other debts that is owing. And this municipality is unable to approach any bank for any loan because there is no money that is coming. And it takes the citizens of Emalahleni to say, how do we then enter into making sure that we declare our status, those that are working are paying for their services. Nkangala District will not be able to enter in this because Emalahleni on its own, it's a legislated institution. We can't take money from the district and say, hey, we're bailing you out, go and pay ESCOM, because we're a legislated institution. And the challenge is that we are highly legislated in a manner that we can only hand out our money through service delivery that must go to the municipality, but not to take a cash as it is and put it to this municipality. So what we did as a district is that we are engaging both with ESCOM, because there is a committee of local executive mayors and ESCOM, where we're dealing with these issues on the repayment and also the negotiation of a payment plan with the ESCOM. And some they are honoring them, some they are unable to honor them because you don't have people coming into the institution and pay for the services. So that's where we are. I can't conclude and say we have a plan. We are waiting at least the national government to tell us as to whether they are entering the space in bailing out local municipalities. Because when you talk of dysfunctional municipalities, one of the eminent issues are that they owe ESCOM and a lot of money. And it's not only Emalahleni, and in entire countries and majority of the rural areas that are getting electricity, but they are unable to pay it back. The issue of rain is a positive thing that is happening because we will have water. But what needs to happen to the district is that we've discussed the issue of water catchment, as well as making sure that we don't lose that rain. Because if we lose that rain goes into various streams of rivers that we have. That's why you see the chaos in Mozambique. The infrastructure that we have put there, and of course you know that construction must happen when there is no rain. We are trying our utmost best, in making sure that this infrastructure that is there is protected. And remember, we are dealing with an infrastructure that is dilapidated while we are trying to put a new infrastructure. And that infrastructure, if it is not well planned in terms of geoscience, in terms of technocrats, in terms of engineers, it will be damaged by this rain. So it is a matter that we are saying as a district and also as the Lekgotla, to say we must be finding a plan of water catchment so that when there is a dry season, we do have water. And we would start in Dr. J.S. Morocco. And safe to indicate that where we are saying there is a lack of water storage in the entire district. The report is saying that. There is a lack of water storage in the entire district. And we are expecting that we must be in position of making sure that when there is such rain, we must be able to have the storage and make sure that we build these storages. Malahleni is highly affected. Tembisile is highly affected. Makazene has got enough water, but they lack storages. Steve Chwete, it's a minimum. They do have storages, but they need to increase their capacity. Dr. J.S. Morocco, they've got capacity, but it is minimum, which we need to increase. So in our plans, working through the DDM streams or the DDM council, which is a district development model, we are intending that the province should assist us for more water catchment or water storages. On the issue of the people or the business people mining sent. In the Lekgotla, we said we must assist municipalities in strengthening their bylaws. In as much as it is a matter from the DMRE, which is expected to inspect where there is a mining activity, that includes sand. Lately, it has become one of the illegal mining when you are mining sand. And I can confirm that Lama quarry that exists, they create that problem of storing water. At the end of the day, there is drowning of children, and indeed we have seen it in Dr. J.S. Moroka. There is a big quarry in Ward 25 or Ward 26 in Dr. J.S. where we are even thinking that maybe let's turn that quarry into a scheme, a water scheme, because it's big. But the challenge is that that quarry, it is within the vicinity of the resident, and also if we make it a scheme, it will block the channel of waters that must go to Mkombo Dam. So that quarry, it must be closed, and hence the bylaws of the municipalities are to be strengthened in making sure that anybody that digs sand or wants to mine sand must either have in papers, and we must be able to be in the position for a rehabilitation of that area so that we avoid these quarries that are existing currently in the district. The issue of the mines not contributing, the mines are contributing, but very little. Very little. They are not contributing what they are supposed to contribute. And therefore, the Lekgotla had taken a resolution that we must have a mining indaba in the district so that all these mines come into one platform. And we discuss the issues of the SLP, the issues of the CSI, and in this, the district is now resuscitating the Nkangala District Agents, which is NIDA. Ne? Yes, it's NIDA. That NIDA must be able to work closely in terms of infrastructure development, focusing on ensuring that they go out and find funds through the mines, through the private sector, through any other government entities for us to be able to implement these infrastructure projects. So we're excited that the Lekgotla has endorsed that NIDA must be resuscitated, NIDA must start working with these things, and NIDA is going to be driving us to the mining indaba, where we would want to have all these mines into one room and start understanding that this is the tool we're going to use as the district in making sure that all these funds that are of community, they should be channeled there, so that that NIDA, which must have a board, the board actually is existing, must have a CFO, and it must have a unit that must be able to run in terms of the infrastructure development, while Nkangala continue to do their role as legislated. I think I've covered all the questions. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. You can come.
Good afternoon, Mayor. My name is Dindo Wusha from Emalasheni FM. Yeah, just a few questions as well. I want to check in terms of the Nkangala District Municipality assisting maybe the local municipalities in terms of collecting revenue, because we have seen, particularly Emalasheni, the Executive Mayor, Councillor Leah Mabuza, has done some, I would say, initiative to try and collect the revenue, like Operation Koka, Guzobangcono and stuff. But I will say it is not doing enough in terms of the challenges that the municipality is facing, more especially the illegal connections. Because what we have noticed with the illegal connection, I would say everyone knows where are the legal connections. We can go there, we will find the legal connections. But you find some of the people are saying that workers from the municipality, they are also involved in terms of connecting the illegal connections to the people. And some of the people are complaining about the incorrect billing of the municipality. To find that someone, they don't have the rubbish bins instead, or water, they don't have the meter. But when the bill comes, then you wonder to say, how did the municipality bill this particular person? Because sometimes they don't have the meter, or sometimes they don't have the rubbish bins to be collected. Another one, I want to check in the infrastructure. Emalasheni is well known with the potholes and the CPD and all over, so we want to check on that one. Does the the Nkangala District Municipality have a plan around that, because I think it is not only going to affect the motorists, but it's going to also affect the businesses in terms of people who are passing by, and also people who are coming to the municipality, and the investors to say, if your, let's say maybe your infrastructure is not correct, maybe the street light, the potholes, and we also know that the pipes, particularly the water pipes, they are always leaking. Sometimes they take some time for the municipality to fix those pipes.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Lindo, I must indicate that the only intervention that the district is doing or has done in terms of revenue of municipalities is to assist them with the revenue strategy, which is what the revenue enhancement strategy, which the district has embarked on that. We've done to assist them, because remember, to develop a strategy, you also need to source some funds somewhere. So we've taken that responsibility to assist them. And I must indicate that it is only the commitment of our local communities that are residing in Emalahleni that must turn around the revenue generation of Emalahleni. If they continue not to pay, the dilapidation of infrastructure that is not maintained, it is going to be remaining a question, and it's going to be remaining a concern. It's going to be existing because there is nothing that is coming from Emalahleni. Our people, those that are working, definitely they must come on space. You are talking of an infrastructure as well as the looting of electricity, of water, and all those things. In the district, we have bought a 2 jet patcher for Emalahleni, to assist them in terms of road patching. And you must understand that the infrastructure of Emalahleni is old, and by that intervention was that how can you ease the issues of pothole. At some stage, they were moving very well in terms of ensuring that these potholes are being closed. But for the fact that their infrastructure is old, need rehabilitation, and rehabilitation need a lot of money, then they must continue to close potholes. And at some stage, you want to put a pothole on a road that is definitely dead, that definitely needs rehabilitation. Those are the challenges that they are faced with. I am unable to answer for Emalahleni in terms of the illegal connections, because we as the district, we have never been requested to deal with issues of their illegal connections, because that becomes a role of a local municipality. As to what is it that they are doing about it, what is the role of the law enforcement, what is it that they are doing about their internal staff that continues to do these things for the community. The communities are aware, and the community does not even worry, because they think when you get low electricity or you do illegal off-water connection, it's good for me. But the reality is that municipality is going to owe DWS in terms of water, is going to owe ESCOM in terms of electricity. So we need a conscious society, which all of us, we must go back and teach, to say if you are doing that illegal connection, you think you are winning, but you are putting the municipality into a situation where it's going to be unable to pay service providers that they give us these services. Water being paid, the municipality must pay water, the water that must be supplied to the community. But if you do an illegal connection, you will get water, but the municipality will not get money, and municipality must pay water and sanitation department for the water that they have requested and used it. So it's their local issues that they must deal with it, but together with the community, together with the same people that are doing these illegal connections. I've seen one video where a community was beating one boy who was trying to reconnect electricity, and that electricity just got boom, it exposed, it just burned, and they even beated that young boy on the basis that they were tired about this illegal connection. And if our society does not get tired of these things and continue want to promote these things, unfortunately, our municipality we as residents of Emalahleni, we will suffer the most. We will suffer because we will not get investment, we will not get people coming to Emalahleni on the basis that we as the community, we don't want to take a positive action in dealing with these things and begin to work with the municipality. As much as we support the executive mayor's program, but the reality is that you have a community that does not care anymore. So we must go down and teach our people. Media must be able to assist us to teach our people on these services that must come to them and that must be paid for. And if you don't do it, you have the government that says, come and register you and get those free basic services under the indigent register. So it's all up to us as the society as to what we want to do with this government and what we want to do with our communities where we are residing.
Thank you very much. We want to take this opportunity and thank you for your continuous support to be the platform for us to use you to communicate to the people we serve in Nkangala. We are looking forward to other engagements, and you must know that without you, you will not be able to live, to reach the people that were supposed to. So the relationship between yourself and us, we appreciate it very much. We don't take it for granted, we don't take it light, and please continue to be that platform so that we can be able to tell our people what is it that we're doing, because most of the jobs that we're doing behind closed doors. They will never know that yesterday and today with this extensive engagement about making sure that we serve them with the necessary commitment that we have promised them. And once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Tomorrow we are, I hope you've been invited to LOSCO. The minister is coming to assess the projects. I have already assessed them. I've went there to do an oversight, but the minister also is coming to do an oversight and see if we're progressing well on the LOSCO. We are going to be talking to our people in as much as they will be driving after that engagement to Limpopo. We'll be seeing the project starting from Tembisile and then come to Lekgotla. So on your space, please inform our